With John Feinstein, and real glad you're with us tonight for what should be a superb college basketball clash. This is Akizi against Alexander Koul, and it's rejected, and traveling is called.
Very apparent right away. One of the things Maryland wants to do is go to Alexander Koul, go to his man Obina Akizi, and try to get him in foul trouble because he is prone to foul trouble.
Maryland beat Kansas last night 86-83 to get into this championship game. GW knocked off Penn 66-62. The first Colonial shot no good, and Akizi chases it down.
Shante Rogers will be a key figure in this game for GW because he's going to be trapped constantly. If he turns it over, big trouble for the Colonials. If he can find that open man when he's trapped, that will lead to easy baskets.
There's the series history. Maryland has won the last 3 games, including last year's championship contest, and the fadeaway jumper is good for Rodney Elliott.
Rodney Elliott has to be one of the most improved players in the country this year. He has really developed a good face-up game, and he can now shoot out the three-point range. He got the attention of some of the pro scouts yesterday with his performance against Kansas.
Rogers, short jumper off the glass, no good. Inside, and a foul is called. And it will send Pat Gongba to the line. Shante Rogers, who last night changed his number from 54 to 10, is back to wearing number 54.
Maybe it's because they couldn't find a uniform with his name on it that had a 10. You see the foul was on Jasikevičius. You see Gongba going up strong, and actually I guess they called the foul on Akizi as he was going up because Jasikevičius fouled him from behind before the shot.
They did credit it to Obina Akizi, and Gongba just a 52% free throw shooter. A freshman from the Central African Republic.
He's too muscular.
Pardon me?
Too muscular to shoot free throws. Look at those arms.
He does have some guns on him. A little bit strong, misses both. Product of Calvert Hall High School in Baltimore.
Strange districting in Central Africa.
And the second Maryland shot is also good. Credit the basket to Akizi. Elliott and Akizi have the first 2 buckets, and Maryland leads 4-0.
Here comes that Maryland trap that gave Kansas so much trouble yesterday.
Kansas victorious in the consolation game here moments ago, wiping out Pennsylvania. And the running jumper good from Yegor Mesherikov, his first basket. Colonials are on the board. Terps moving up from 23rd to 19th in the current rankings out today after yesterday's victory over Kansas. Reverse layup is a beauty from Akizi.
That's a superb move. He's another player who's really improved since he first got to Maryland. This is a very experienced Maryland team. They start 2 seniors and 3 juniors who have all played extensive minutes since their freshman year. Akizi, great fake here, spins, goes baseline under Koul. Koul, of course, not wanting to foul, and he makes the reverse layup. Sherikov's strong move here at the other end. Little flip. And he's a key player for GW because he's one of the few players on this team that's at least as athletic as anybody Maryland has.
Prophet got the last foul. Shante Rogers connects for 3.
And he can make that shot. You leave him open. And Gary Williams is saying to Terrell Stokes right now, where the heck were you? He might have used a different word than heck.
Gary will get intense as this game goes along.
No, Gary won't get intense.
He is intense.
Gary's intense when he orders breakfast.
Gary's intense.
I want 2 eggs over easy. You got it? And don't screw it up.
Gongba picks up the foul. Gary was intense in our post-game interview last night after he had beaten Kansas.
Excellent defensive play by J.J. Braid there. Maryland fans wanted a foul, but that was a good steal.
Rogers, very quick, stolen away. Here comes Prophet. Ahead of the pack, he's fouled and will not get the hoop, but will go to the line.
Ron Prophet, excellent steal, and he was looking to go up and dunk that ball. But as I said, Mesherikov is an excellent athlete, and he's one of the few players on the floor who could have stayed with Ron Prophet in that situation. See, excellent strip there by Prophet with the right hand, and he's actually got a step on Mesherikov, but he gets up and even with him and does reach in and foul him.
Prophet shooting 64% from the free throw line, a junior from Charleston, South Carolina. Had 13 points and 7 rebounds in the game against Kansas last night, averaging over 18 points a contest with 6.8 rebounds and 3.3 steals.
He's been Maryland's best player in their 6 games overall. Rodney Elliott was their best player yesterday, but Profit's been their best player in the 6 games.
Against Clemson, he didn't score until 3 minutes to go in the second half.
And Maryland still almost won that game, losing in overtime. Had a great chance to win, a 4-point lead with a minute to play. And Terrell McIntyre, with a great clutch players of the ACC, buried a 3 to bring Clemson back.
Terps have lost to 2 South Carolina teams, South Carolina and Clemson.
And lost their last game of the season last year to College of Charleston in the NCAA tournament. Need to stay out of that state.
Koul, a long lefty jump hook, and he's got it. GW cuts it to 1, 8-7.
Didn't know he had that one in his arsenal. I don't think Maryland knew either.
And nearly traveling with the ball is Jasikevicius, but gets the jumper.
British Jasikevicius was just a stand-up shooter when he got to Maryland. Now he can score off the dribble.
Inside ball blocked. Braid tries to get it back. Akizi has it. Lost it. They'll give it to the Terps. Maryland 4 of 4 from the floor so far in this game.
That's good shooting, isn't it? It's
not bad. I think it's 100%.
We know our hoops.
Just underway in the championship tilt, Maryland and GW. Same 2 clubs battled last year in the championship game, with the Terps winning here in the Franklin Bank Classic, although that game was played at US Airways Arena.
Little zone here for GW, trying to show a different look.
Akizi going against Koul. Way strong. Mischarikov knocks it away and chases it down.
Mike Jarvis is not a zone coach, but against Maryland with their quickness, he may need to play some zone.
Rogers, and Koul has it and scores to give the Colonials, well, to cut it to 1.
And Koul got Rodney Elliott behind him, and an excellent entry pass from Rogers, and he will score when he catches the ball in the low post there.
Profit chases it down. Inside Elliott, he was hit on the baseline, but it's retrieved by Stokes, and now Profit from the corner. Here's 5'4" Shante Rogers. The jumper, the basket, 2-point field goal, and GW with their first lead of the game, 11-10.
2 experienced teams, and you can see that they both play with a lot of confidence, and a lot of kids on the floor who have more game this year than when they met in this same tournament a year ago. Rogers being a good example, Elliott another.
The entire Maryland team much more experienced, as is George Washington. And they'll call a foul on Alexander Koul, reaching in.
I'm sorry, Steve. You're talking about 2 teams who lost a grand total of 2 starters, 1 each off of last year's team. So they should be improved, and they are experienced.
And there is a timeout on the floor with 15:21 to go in the first half. And GW leading Maryland by 1.
Clay Espy likes to put in a full day at work, and then a full night.
Listen, Clay, I really need to get some air.
Open a window.
No, I just need to clear my head.
Can't you just jog around the conference table?
No, I'd really rather just go outside.
Deep knee bends always.
Clay! Sorry.
So when a workaholic like Clay wanted another phone line, he needed Bell South Saturday service.
Hey, good, you got my page. Come here.
That and maybe a hobby.
I want to go over these numbers we were working on the other day.
Hi, welcome to Great Clips.
Hey, welcome to Great Clips.
Welcome to Great Clips. So, how much would you like taken off the top today?
Why is it that no matter which Great Clips you visit, you'll find the same consistent, friendly service time after time? It's our ongoing commitment to training, because the way we see it, if our stylists are consistently good,
What do you think?
So, how do you like it?
our customers will be consistently happy.
I love it.
It's great.
See you soon.
Great Clips, guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style.
No service charge. No lines. No traffic. No parking. No dress code. Free home banking from Chevy Chase. It puts your bank as near as your PC or telephone.
15:21 to go here in the first half with GW leading Maryland. And if the Colonials are to stay in this game, John, then they have to get production from Alexander Koul and Shawntae Rogers, and so far they have.
Well, we said in the open they have to get the ball to Koul and get him shots. They've done that so far. He's been able to get posted up low and get his shots. And Shawntae Rogers, 2 quick buckets, a very good sign because he does have to score. If he doesn't, then Maryland can sag its defense back on the big man.
Mike Martisic in the game, and Matt Kovarik fires up a jumper and scores.
Kovarik, very steady player off the bench for Maryland, 5th-year senior.
Trapping defense, Cherikov will shoot, and he nails it. He's got a beautiful, for a guy that tall, 6'8", and he looks even larger on the floor.
GW's already hit more jump shots in 5 minutes than he hit in the first half against Penn last night.
And Rogers steals it away, 3-on-1. Beautiful jump stop. They can't get the bucket. Rebound on the floor, and a foul is called. Excellent play by J.J. Braid to stop in mid-run because he could have committed the player control foul, but he just didn't get the hoop.
Good steal, too, by Shawntae Rogers. Here you see Braid with the jump stop, battle for the ball, everybody going after it. Martisic has it. Kovarik and Cherikov on the floor. And Ted Valentine called it on Cherikov.
Yep, that's his second.
Big foul.
Underneath, wide open, and another foul will be called. It will send Mike Martisic to the line.
My question is, how can Jimmy Burr see down that low to where Shawntae Rogers tried to strip the ball?
They did call it on Rogers as Seiko Kamara comes into the game.
There you go. Excellent pass on the baseline. Wide open Martisic, and Rogers comes in, and there's nothing he can do really but grab Martisic's waist, which is about at his neck level. Martisic 6'11", and Rogers 5'4".
Yeah, they list him at 7 feet, and they're very impressed by this freshman from Boston, Massachusetts, who was a red shirt last year. Has great court awareness, and they're looking for big things from him.
A lot of people criticized Gary Williams when he took Mike Martisic, said he wasn't good enough to play in the ACC. And I remember watching Maryland practice last year in preseason, and Gary saying, watch him, because he's going to be a good player for us.
What a play by Rogers. He actually faked left and then shot it with the right hand and scored. Shawntae Rogers has 7, John.
Great pace in this game right there.
It really is. Good defense by both teams. Koul, good position for the board. TW on top of Maryland by 2. The chance to extend it just a bit. Colonial 6-2 on the year. The Terps 4-2.
One of the things you do when you rebound well against Maryland is you keep them out of their press.
This is Kamara to J.J. Braid, back to Rogers, long 3. That's off the mark. Rebound on top by Elliott, ahead to Profit.
Showtime.
Profit, who had 4 3-pointers against South Carolina, 27 his season high against Fairleigh Dickinson. Braid the other way, looking for the contact, no call. Maryland comes down with another rebound. Kovarik. Underneath, great pass. Braid fighting for the rebound. And let's see who they call it on. I think it's against Maryland.
I think it's on Rodney Elliott. Missed the shot and then committed the cardinal sin of getting frustrated and committing a foul after missing the shot. He might have gotten fouled going up there, but then he fouled Braid going for the loose ball.
He got hammered pretty good by Alexander Koul.
Yeah, let's give him a break there because he was probably frustrated by the fact that he thought he got fouled.
Profit comes out of the game. Also, J.J. Braid takes a seat. And now there is a timeout on the floor. It's a 22nd timeout as you look at Mike Jarvis in his 8th year. And as we mentioned to you last night, in his 12 years as a head coach, has never had a losing season. And that goes all the way back to his high school coaching days at Cambridge High School, where his teams won 143 and lost just 21 in 7 years.
How many games did Patrick Ewing lose?
Good question.
I don't know.
I don't.
Not many.
That's for sure.
Didn't lose very many at Georgetown either. How many times Georgetown been in the Final Four since he graduated?
None.
You are right, sir.
Jarvis.
They do still play. They still have a team.
They have a team.
Okay.
In fact, it plays on this very floor. If you stayed here long enough tonight, you'd see them at some point.
I might be the only one.
A little hard on the Hoyas, aren't you?
Why should I be hard on the Hoyas?
Inside.
Because they play in a Division II league.
Oh, my. Camara. This is Krivenos to Koul. Camara's long jumpers off the rim. Bodies on the floor. Tip. Saved by Seiko and kicked out of bounds by Maryland. This really has an intense pace, this basketball game.
Well, again, local rivalries. I mean, one of the reasons I do get on Georgetown is because of John Thompson's refusal to take part in local rivalries and in a tournament like this one. This is fun. Everybody in the building's having a good time, except for Gary Williams and Mike Jarvis.
Roy Yeal checks in the game for GW. He wears number 12 with the ball. 16-16 game. Seiko Camara. Andre Krivenos. Camara will try again. This time he nails a three-pointer to give GW a three-point lead.
Camara can shoot that three. He had 4 in one game for GW earlier in the season. GW again showing that zone. It's a kind of a matchup zone.
And stripped away beautifully by Roy Yeal. Largest lead of the game for GW right now, 3. Maryland led initially 4-0. Krivenos inside, Koul. Fakes, up, scores, and he's fouled.
Great look by Krivenos. He didn't play yesterday at all in the game, and comes in off the bench, and his first play is a great look. He had a shot there. He had a 3, but he says, hey, there's my big guy. I'm getting him the ball.
Alexander Koul, who has not missed yet, 3 for 3 from the floor.
Now, if he makes the free throw, I'll really be impressed. But Martisic fouled him, got there a step late. Really nice pass by Krivenos.
Koul is a 65% free throw shooter. Misses strong.
Almost impressed him.
Stokes down the right wing to Morris in the game, the freshman.
Maryland's had some trouble against this zone.
11:45 to go, first half. Championship game of the Franklin National Bank Classic in its 3rd year.
And that, just as I say that, they go back to man-to-man.
Elliott to Martisic. He scores.
Terps recognized it quicker than I did. Good pass by Rodney Elliott.
4 points for the freshman Martisic.
Martisic was a big factor down the stretch for Maryland yesterday, especially after Rodney Elliott had fouled out of the game.
Koul drives in the paint, up with the right hand, couldn't get the angle, but the follow is there. Credit the basket to Anchone Iturbe.
Now what happened there was Alexander Koul drew the double team, and when he missed the shot, Iturbe was left alone because of the double team for the rebound.
Elliott, Prophet. Baseline to Stokes. Underneath. Short jumper good by Rodney Elliott.
Really nice passing by both teams right now.
And a intense trap that the Colonials managed to squeeze through.
GW's done a good job against Maryland's pressure thus far.
Colonials by 3.
Only got 1 turnover.
Yeal leaves it off inside. Shot blocked away. And then knocked out of bounds by Maryland. Let's catch our breath with 10:26 to go in the half and a timeout on the floor. George Washington leads by 3.
At 6 a.m., my coffee maker grinds its own beans. Wake up and smell the coffee, I'm there. I buy books on the internet, I fax, I email. I am at peace with technology. So, you'd think that since Nations Bank lets you bank just about any way you want, the big question for me would be, do I bank by phone, or do I stop by Nations Bank on the net? Or do I use one of their 2 zillion ATMs? You know what, I still go to Nations Bank in person. Hey, I'm an old-fashioned guy.
Ready to play. The Blue Devils are ready to play on HTS. Let's give 100% plus 10% more. You better get ready. Anybody who takes nights off is going to be in some hot water. You should be in great condition. No excuses. Let's just get it done. We're really going to have to be ready to play.
Virginia, ready to play for state bragging rights against VCU. Saturday night at 7:30 on HTS.
You just have to be ready to play.
We need your help. I need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love.
To help keep Jimmy V's dream alive, please call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Been quite a hectic pace in this game, but amazingly only 3 turnovers, 2 for Maryland, 1 for GW so far.
Really very high level of play in this game. You see Seiko Kamara there drilling the 3. GW 3 for 5 on 3-pointers, and we said at the start of the game that they were going to have to hit their outside shots to stay in the game. Both teams shooting very well. GW 10 for 19, Maryland 8 for 12. And GW's out-rebounded Maryland 8-6 with 4 offensive rebounds. That's why they've got 7 more shots.
Breaking the pressure again at Turbay into the corner for Kamara. That's strong. Ball pulled down beautifully, though, by Turbay.
I think long run, Steve, this torrid pace favors Maryland.
Kribanos inside. Gongba was fouled. No call. Kamara, that's stolen away by Prophet. He's going against Kamara, cuts inside and lays it in. Pretty play.
Ron Prophet one-on-one going to the basket is almost unstoppable. Reminds me a little bit of Greg Manning, who played at Maryland in the late 70s, early 80s. He's now the color commentator on the Maryland Radio Network. Greg Manning in the open floor. I honestly swear to you, in 4 years, I never saw him miss a layup.
Whistle and a push.
And Prophet is just about that good. Don't tell Greg I said that.
Well, he's got 2 steals in the game. He needs 2 more to move into 9th place all-time, ahead of Albert King in the steals department here at Maryland.
Who played with Greg Manning at Maryland. They were in the same class. And here you see LaRon with the left hand and easy layup. Actually, not that easy a layup. He just made it look easy.
Maryland still down by 1. Mesherikov bounces it in for Gongba and loses it off his leg. Turnover GW off Mesherikov.
Good defense there by Terrence Morris, another one of the Maryland freshmen. Gary Williams is very high on this kid. He played a little bit scared yesterday against Kansas, but he has tremendous potential.
A couple of quick turns for GW. Bounce pass, open jumper, that's strong. Little Shante Rogers with a board. Runs the break, great pass. And they can't convert. Martisic kicks it out, and had the pass been a little further, but what a great play to Morris, and he is clobbered by Iturbe.
Clobbered is the word, and it's a good thing that Iturbe went over there and said something to Morris, because that could have been a dicey moment, because that was a harder foul than it needed to be. Great play by Prophet. They're scooping it off the floor, and there you see Iturbe just flying in there to send Morris flying, and you hear the Maryland fans booing. They want an intentional foul. It was a hard foul, but I wouldn't have called an intentional foul there.
Morris just 199 pounds, Iturbe 252, and really smashed into him. That's one of those plays where you make sure the guy does not score.
He wasn't going to score unless he could do it from the 5th row.
Terrence Morris, the freshman, and a good one. There's Greg Manning.
Greg Manning, never saw him miss a layup. Steelton to Pennsylvania. Terrific guy.
Does the games with Johnny Holiday on radio.
Another terrific guy.
Long shot, no good. Gongba the rebound.
And a pretty good basketball player in his own right, Johnny Holiday.
Really?
Yeah. Played on a team with Rick Barry in Miami.
Who's the guy from American Bandstand?
Dick Clark turned 68 last week.
Johnny Holiday sort of has the Dick Clark syndrome. They never age.
Johnny is, and I hope I'm not giving away any secrets, 58 years old. And I hope you and I look nearly that good when we're 58. If we get to be 58.
That's the big question. He just doesn't age.
Yeah. Does great imitations, too. You ever hear him do presidents?
No, I haven't.
Fabulous.
Mischerakov connects. I think he's been doing Maryland for about 19 years, if I'm not mistaken.
He started doing Maryland the first year I covered Maryland for the Washington Post, 1979.
Turnaround jumper by Akizi is good. Obina has 6 points.
And a great start for Akizi. He looks much more comfortable in this game than he did yesterday, even playing against Koul, who's given him a tough time at the other end of the floor.
Mischerakov around traffic, looks for Koul, off his hands, and they'll give it to Maryland. And there is another timeout on the floor. 7:55 to go in the half, and the game tied at 25.
It's the holidays, and look what's going on at Rose's.
They really do have great savings here.
This Daewoo 27-inch TV is just $289.99, a $40 savings. Men's Dickies workwear, just $13.99. Or Sunbeam sale items, including the soft serve ice cream maker for $79.99.
We're always here on Fridays for Double Coupon Day and save a ton of money.
That's true, too.
That's the holiday sale going on right now at Rose's.
My mother taught me to be a real perfectionist, but around the house, I'm pretty relaxed. I think you should have beauty and comfort. So I looked in the real yellow pages from Bell South for a real comfy sofa and a real cozy rug. If it's called a living room, it should be lived in. No, don't sit on that.
Sorry.
No grape juice in here.
Sorry.
Like I said, relaxed.
Use the real yellow pages from Bell South.
Ace Limousine, serving the entire metropolitan area. For all your transportation needs, call 301-441-3266.
The Maglite flashlight. Brighter, tougher, made in America. Maglite, the perfect gift to brighten the holidays. Maglite.
Time Bridge Technologies for enterprise-wide networking solutions designed for your company. Dial 888-402-1300.
I guess with a turtle shell, that would really be a hard hat.
I think that, see the ACC insignia there on the side. I think if Chris Grant, our producer, was really good, he'd have a shot, because on the back, I think, is the cover of my book.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, have you written a new book since the March to Madness? Have you produced anything new in the last day?
No. The March to Madness is my most recent. And
okay. Thought maybe you had a new one.
Chris Grain really is good. There he is.
Quick in that truck, aren't they? Chris Grain and Chris Glass.
Spent last year in the ACC with all the coaches. Had a terrific time.
That is on the bookshelves now, so you can help support John's mortgage payments and pick one up.
Don't forget those 2 kids.
Pretty good reading, too.
Thank you, Steve. Pretty good ball game here. Actually, excellent ball game so far.
Yesterday, Maryland was 6 for 20 from three-point range against Kansas. Tonight, they have yet to attempt a three-point jumper.
Well, and a lot of that is because of the way GW is playing defensively.
This is Yesikavicius.
That was a 3.
Slapped out of bounds by Akizi and colliding with some of the photographers in the front row.
I'm going to tell you, the one player on this floor I would least like to collide with is Gomba. Yeah. I mean, he is a huge kid. Great hustle here trying to save the ball. And the photographers go over. Gomba, yesterday, you remember, his elbow played a key role in the win over Penn because he re-broke Garrett Kreitz's nose. Kreitz had broken it in Puerto Rico, and he re-broke it. And Fran Dunphy told me after the game tonight, Kreitz, who played the entire game tonight, will have surgery on the nose at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And that's amazing because to have it broken the first time hurts. To have it broken the second time has just got the smart.
Yeah, and he came back in the game last night, you remember.
He did, and as you said, played all game this evening in the loss to Kansas earlier this evening.
Penn kids are a wonderful group. They're going to do just fine in January and February.
Rogers dumps it off, lays it in at the buzzer, Mischerakov.
And Gary Williams just can't believe it.
Yegor has 9. He's 4 of 5 from the floor, and GW up by 2.
I think Gary just said, darn it.
Profit Stokes will try a three-pointer and can it.
Stokes can make that three-point shot as long as he doesn't have to put the ball on the floor.
His 8th three-pointer of the season, and Maryland steals it away. Jasikavičius for Profit.
Profit gets back down the court as well as anybody in the country when he sees a steal or a turnover.
And the Terps lead by 3.
And this is the first kind of run that we talked about in the open where GW's got to stay cool. And I don't mean Alexander cool, but getting it to him wouldn't be a bad idea.
He's trying to get it and has it against Akizi. Back to Rogers. He wanted it again, but Rogers couldn't get it there.
Screaming for the ball.
Now has it, fade away, and he is fouled.
I think that was on Stokes coming in to help.
And Koul is really working hard, a little bit frustrated right now.
Well, he's getting a lot of attention. Watch Akizi working him over there, trying to deny him the ball. Koul screaming for it. They get it to him. Profit comes to help, fouls him on the left arm. And what you couldn't see on camera was on the other side, if he spun to the middle, Mike Martisic was waiting to help on the other side. A lot of attention for Koul.
Koul, who played on the 1993 Belarus national team. And again, having problems. He, I don't believe, has made one from the free throw line tonight. 0 for 4.
Shot well. Yesterday he was 9 for 12, which for him is a very good free throw shooting day. But GW needs every one of those points when he gets to the line, because he will get to the line. He's 0 for 2. The team's 0 for 4. Now they're 1 for 5.
And a whistle as a substitute will come in. And the fans boo Anchoni Turbe because of the hard foul on Terrence Morris.
I hope Dean Smith is watching this game and saying, all those at Turbes play that way. Because Iker Turbe of Clemson, not Dean Smith's favorite basketball player. And Iker is the older brother.
.5:25 to go, first half. Maryland by 2. Martisic turnaround, way strong. Tip, saved by Profit. He got it stripped. Here comes Rogers, 3-on-2. Shante pulls up, and the tip no good. Koul the rebound, up strong and scores.
Alexander Koul is playing a superb game so far. He's gotten to the boards. He's gotten to the low post. He's gotten inside Gary Williams' head.
Mike Jarvis screaming for the foul. Jasikavičius no good. Misherek off the board. Game tied at 30. Koul has 9 points.
Tim Higgins going by us, keeping the count and giving us a big smile all at once. What a great official. He can do it all.
Misherek dumps it for Rogers, and he traveled with the ball.
And he makes a traveling call, and he got it right. What a ref.
GW commits their 5th turnover in the last 5 minutes.
Rogers there hesitating. And I think the hesitation is what caused the travel. There's Jim Burr, who made the big call of the game yesterday, and at the very end, coming in when Ted Valentine was going to give the ball to Kansas, and Burr came across the court to call a foul, and it was the right call.
Elliott is blocked. They'll call a foul on Misherek and send Rodney Elliott to the line for 2. That's the 3rd personal foul on Yegor Misherek.
And that's a huge foul, because Misherek and Koul and Rogers are the 3 guys who have to be on the floor at all times for GW. And now he's going to have to come out, I would think. Although he's not at the moment. Sub at the scorer's table.
Rodney Elliott.
Now he comes out.
Cameron checking back in for GW. Elliott, 21 points and 12 rebounds against Kansas. The 21 was his high for the season. And the Terps now 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Maryland by 1. Championship game, Franklin Bank Classic. And it's been a good one. J.J. Braid loses it, and A kick ball is called.
You know, we talked about Maryland maybe having an emotional letdown. I don't think they have. I think they played very well, but GW has picked up their play from yesterday by 60–70%, I would say.
And Shawntae Rogers cans the jumper. A three-pointer. Back the other way, and no shot. Jim Burr says before the shot went up, there's a push. It'll be charged to number 23, J.J. Braid. And Maryland will take it out underneath. And no, there'll be some shots as we're in the bonus now, 1-1.
But with 3:52 left in the first half, that's not a heck of a lot of fouls, again, considering the pace of this game.
Profit had 13 points and 7 rebounds in the win over Kansas last night. Himself struggling from the free throw line, 64%. You can see the steals that we mentioned earlier.
The one thing these teams have not done all that well tonight is shoot free throws.
As a team, Maryland shoots just 64% collectively. And there's a break with 3:52 to go in the half. And the game knotted at 33.
Come on, we aren't getting any younger.
Maybe the birds should try.
I need new brakes.
New glasses, too.
Georgie here says that Meineke's the place to go for new brakes.
That's right. At Meineke, you'll always get dependable, high-quality brakes and professional same-day service, all at that great Meineke price. Let's go.
Now where's that bird going?
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Advance Auto Parts presents part number 19. Don, our battery expert. You never know when your battery's going to die. But when it does, Don is here to help. Just let Don know what kind of car you drive, and he'll make sure you get the right battery. Better yet, get your car in here, and Don will install an Autocraft battery for you. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people.
Before your next haircut, ask yourself a few quick questions. Is your hair salon open evenings and weekends? Great Clips is. Does your hair salon clearly post their prices?
$21. Last time it was only $16.
Great Clips does. Are the stylists at your hair salon courteous and friendly? Are they professionally trained? Do they stand behind their work? If your hair salon is Great Clips, then you already know the answers. Great Clips. Guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style.
Well, GW is hanging in this game on the boards, having out-rebounded Maryland 15-9 so far in the first half.
Very significant stat because Maryland has at least as much size as GW. But you remember Gary Williams talked yesterday about how big GW's big men are. And, of course, Koul at 7'1", Masharikoff very athletic at 6'8". And they've done an excellent job on both ends rebounding the basketball thus far. And that's why it's a tie ball game, because Maryland shot the ball very well.
Of the Colonials' 33 points, Rogers has 10. Koul and Masharikoff have 9 each. Iturbe throws it away. Akizi up to Yesikavicius and lays it in.
One of the things about Maryland's pressure is it's insidious. It beats you down throughout the game. You may start out handling it, but eventually it will get to you.
And Jim Burr, almost as if he waited for the first call to see if there was an advantage gained, calls the second contact.
Well, and you described it well, because advantage gained is the key. Contact doesn't necessarily mean a foul. See, right there, Rogers kept going, so he didn't have to call the foul. But on the second one, when Morris reached in and he lost the basketball, advantage was gained and the foul had to be called. That's good officiating, because he didn't just instinctively call a foul on contact.
Thank you.
I like officials. Was Tim Higgins smiling at you?
No, I thought perhaps you were complimenting me on the officiating call.
I'm supposed to compliment you on an officiating call? Your call of the game has been superb.
The explanation of the call.
Oh, okay. Great job, Steve.
Thank you, John. Morris gets the foul. That's his second. Nice pass underneath. Elliott, and he'll shoot 2.
Matt Kovarik does an excellent job when he's in the game from Maryland of getting the ball in the right places. Again, he's a fifth-year senior. He sat out 2 years ago with an injury. Here you see, gets the penetration, finds Elliott, and it's either a layup or a foul. Frankly, if I'm Alexander Koul, I give him the layup because that's his second foul.
Rodney Elliott, product of Dunbar High School in Baltimore. And interestingly enough, shares the same birthday as Gary Williams, March the 4th.
Born in the same year, right?
Well, no. Rodney's about 31 years younger than Gary is.
Gary doesn't look 52, though. He is what you would describe as a youthful 52. Except at the end of a close game.
The older you get, 52 doesn't sound like it should be old
I used to think
anymore.
50 was old.
Yeah.
I used to think 40 was old.
That's right. Seiko Camara loses the ball and gets it to the man that should have it, Shante Rogers.
Maryland's pressure really starting to cause problems for Maryland, for GW.
Sure is, and Rogers a little bit forceful, a little bit out of control, called for the player control foul.
And he's keeping his control, but making a comment about that call to Jim Burr. Let's see. I'm still looking for a foul.
That was it.
I didn't see a foul there.
And Maryland throws the ball away.
I think Jim Burr might have been screened a little bit, thought there was contact. Of course, as you say correctly, we have that benefit of that replay with the angle. So we should get it right. And we still don't get it right all the time.
I think part of that foul was frustration. Rogers is working so hard on this Maryland trap.
That's what I mean about wearing you down.
Braid back out to Rogers. Long three. Akizi fights for the rebound and pulls it away from Terrence Morris, and Morris has it. Here's Akizi. Francisco Di Miranda in the game for GW.
Both teams using a lot of players they need to at this pace.
Underneath, great pass off the hands of the GW player and back to the Terps.
There will come a time later in this season when Terrence Morris will catch that ball cleanly and it'll be a dunk.
Morris and Kavarik come out of the game for the Terps. Stokes is back in. Profit also in the lineup with Akizi. Yesikavicius. And Elliott. And they'll set it back up, 10 on the shot clock. Elliott from the baseline. And rebound taken away by Shante Rogers. Boy, he's so low that if you put the ball on the floor, you're taking his chance.
He's done that about 4 times in this game. Maryland has gotten offensive rebounds, and Rogers has come in from the blind side and stripped the rebounder. You cannot bring the ball down.
Rashid Hazard also in the contest for the Colonials. Where's number 42? Iturbe. Rogers, 10 on the shot clock. Around Stokes, fade away. It's a beauty.
Tough move there, going to his left, and he's right-handed and shooting with the right hand.
14 points for Shante Rogers.
Probably his best game of the season so far.
Profit off a pick, no. And Rogers saves it in, but off the foot of Di Miranda and back to Maryland.
Good hustle again. Shante Rogers saving the ball, but he was saving it to a level where his hands would be, but nobody else's hands, nobody but him has hands that low, so it went off of Di Miranda's ankle. Did you get all that?
Not sure, but I'll take your word for it. The alley-oop, no good. Hazard has it. Here comes GW with a game tied at 37. 1:10 to go in the first half. It has been a blistering first half of play. Right now, both Koul and Masharikoff are on the bench. Rogers, and he was fouled by Stokes.
Well, Mike Jarvis would love to get through this last 53.7 seconds to keep the game even or even have a little bit of a lead because he's got Masharikoff over there with 3 fouls and Koul with 2. And his bench has done a good job, and Shante Rogers has done a terrific job. Mike giving some encouragement over there. We saw in the replay to Tim Higgins. Tim needs encouragement. Tim's nickname among referees, by the way, is Barney Rubble. Take a look at him and see if it doesn't fit.
Well, you could almost get Higgins and Burr confused if you weren't sure.
Higgins is a lot friendlier.
I'll make sure to tell Jim Burr you said that.
Doc. Tim worked the national championship game last year, one of the most respected refs in the game. As is Jim Burr. As is Ted Valentine.
Ted Valentine, for that matter. Three of the best working this finals. Both free throws good by Rogers. He comes out of the game.
See if Maryland tries to play 2 for 1 here. Get a shot up before 35 so that they'll get another possession out of it.
Stokes around everybody. Lays it back. It's stolen by Hazard. He runs the break. No advantage and picked from behind by Terrell Stokes.
Terrell Stokes made a bad play, losing the ball, and then Rasheed Hazard made a bad play, not looking behind him, and both coaches very frustrated right now.
Yeah.
Fun for us to watch, though. And now Maryland will try to play for 1, even though there's about a 4-second difference on the clock.
17 on the shot, 21 on the game.
How many times do you see players shoot too soon in this situation?
Profit drives. Goes up strong.
Shot too soon.
Grade the basket, the rebound. 6 seconds to go. Trying to get it over half court to Rasheed Hazard. He'll fire it up. No good at the buzzer. And a wild, fast-paced first half has come to an end in Washington. At the break, it's GW 39, Maryland 37.
When Russell and Barbara found out they were going to have a baby, their first reaction was fear.
You do it.
You do it. You see, they knew if they called one set of in-laws, the first question would be, have you called the other set? That's how in-laws find out who you love more.
Well, I'm the one who has to carry the baby.
So Russell decided to place a three-way call.
Hold on 1 second.
Told both in-laws at the same time.
We're pregnant.
Which seemed pretty smart until Russell's mom asked,
So, who you gonna name the baby after?
It's for you.
Hello?
You know what I'm doing? I'm applying for a loan. This is Nations Bank. Well, not this, but, you know. See, Nations Bank gives you tons of ways to do your banking. You can actually get a loan over the phone. Hello. Transfer funds, too. Oh, could you hold on a second? Thank you. And they have branches all over. ATMs, just about everywhere. I can even stop by Nations Bank on the net. Oh, I'd show you, but I'd have to get up. Hi, I'm back.
Cambridge Technologies, one source for enterprise-wide networking solutions for networks, systems, and applications designed for your company. Dial 888-402-1300.
What's on HTS? What's up with the O? Wizards, DC United, ACC, Capital. And who's this sports mold stealing all the dirt? Get online.
Login confirmed.
HTS Online. www.htsonline.com.
Washington, D.C. is steeped in history, and the newest monument in our nation's capital is MCI Center. Become a part of MCI Center by inscribing your own message in the Walk of Fame. This brick-paved walkway will surround MCI Center, and for only $70, you may permanently engrave up to 3 lines of text into your own Walk of Fame's paper. A portion of all proceeds will benefit the Derek Smith Educational Fund and the United Negro College Fund. Call 301-773-2255, 301-773-2255, or visit any Chevy Chase Bank.
The season of joy. The Capitals in December on HTS. Ready to give some surprise gifts in 4 games. The Great Gretzky and the Broadway Blues. A home-and-home stuff fest against the stingy Florida Panthers. And a final holiday bash against the rough and ready Devils. Get ready to spend the holidays with the Caps, because it's always better to give than to receive. The Capitals ready for holiday cheer all December long. Only on HTS.
ACC Live Halftime is brought to you by Nations Bank, proud sponsor of ACC basketball. By Bell South, nobody knows a neighbor like a neighbor. And by Roses, the easy way to save money. There have been 7 ties and 6 lead changes in the first half of play. Shawntae Rogers with 16 points. He, Alexander Koul, and Yegor Masharikov have 34 of GW's 39 points. For Maryland, 8 players have scored, led by Laron Profit's 10. And at the break, George Washington on top of Maryland by 2 in the championship game of the Franklin National Bank Classic. Stick around, more to come.
Now at Roses, it's the jewelry and gift sale. Get that special gift for that special someone at a special price. You know, they've got some really nice things in here. This beautiful gold jewelry, your choice at 60% off. Ladies boxed knitwear, 30% off. And holly pine dinnerware and gold accessories, 25% off.
I like that it doesn't take all day to get in and out of here.
That's the jewelry and gift sale now through December 13th at Rose's.
On behalf of the Atlantic Coast Conference, we very much appreciate the commitment of our corporate partners in providing direct financial support to the conference and its 9 member institutions. ACC schools compete for championships in 24 sports and provide scholarship assistance for over 2,500 student athletes annually. Additionally, we have a continuing involvement with a number of outreach programs. We're proud that our corporate partners have joined with the Atlantic Coast Conference in this important effort.
Is there anything more heartwarming than the day a son comes to work for his father?
I don't even want to be in this stupid business.
Oh, that's right. You want to be an author.
See what he does, Tyler? Just because I want to write.
I was thinking that you guys could sell a ton more inventory if you use the internet. And all you got to do is write up a little catalog page like that.
So?
So you can write it. Each one of these clubs has got to tell a story, right?
Jerry vigorously grasped the driver in his hands.
Of course, you don't have to do it, right now.
Here's the thing about debt. Sometimes it's hard to know when it stops working for you and when you start working for it. Well, I found a way to make sure that doesn't happen. Nations Bank showed me how to take my credit cards, car loans, and using the equity in my home, combine them all into one loan with a lower interest rate. Smart, huh? I make one payment a month and it's less than I was paying before. And that definitely works for me.
There's a lot of quality built into every Toyota Camry. Quality that starts right here with parts made for Toyota in Maryland and Virginia and sent to Georgetown, Kentucky, where they're used to build Toyota Camrys, Avalons, and now Sienna vans. Other parts go to California, where Toyota Corollas and Tacoma trucks are built. Fact is, most Toyotas are made in the USA. With quality that starts right here.
Time now to take a look at the Advanced Auto Parts halftime statistics. And in the first half, you can see that George Washington shot 4 of 10 from three-point range. That's one of the reasons why they're in this game. They also out-rebounded Maryland 18-12.
The two key stats on there, both teams have shot the ball very well. GW a little better from 3, but the two key stats, 18-12 in the rebounds and 9-9 in the turnovers. That's a win for GW. If they can stay even in turnovers and continue to out-rebound Maryland, they have a shot to win this basketball game.
We welcome you back, Steve Buckhantz, with John Feinstein. One of the other keys, I would think, for George Washington will be what happens in the second half with regards to fouls. Meshcherikoff and Koul are the key players for this team. Should they get into deeper foul trouble, that's going to be big trouble for Mike Jarvis.
Well, they were able to get through the last couple minutes of that half with both Meshcherikoff and Koul on the bench and get to halftime with a lead. So you say Meshcherikoff with 3. Mike Jarvis took Koul out with 2, taking no chances on picking up that third. He's got to be sure to avoid picking it up early in the second half.
It has been a racehorse-type first half between two good local teams. Maryland, ranked 19th in the nation by today's poll, trails GW by 2 at the break.
Before you buy a digital wireless phone, Bell Atlantic Mobile wants you to ask this simple question. Does it work just about everywhere? Does it work here? And out here? Does your phone sound clear here? The fact is, Boston, D.C., nobody has more digital coverage with the most advanced digital technology than we do. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
Missing children are hard to find. You can help by supporting Missing Kids International.
MKI is a nonprofit organization addressing the critical issue of missing children. Call 1-800-353-MISS to find out how you can help MKI and receive your free child identification forms used in emergencies by law enforcement agencies for the children you love.
With your support, Missing Kids International gives every missing child a chance.
The season of joy. Wizards basketball in December on HTS. We've got a brand new home We've got the same fiery spirit. Now, 8 games with plenty of holiday stuffing. It's always better to give than to receive. The Wizards, ready for holiday cheer. All December long, only on HTS.
Halftime where George Washington leads Maryland 39-37 in Game 1. Tonight, the consolation game. Kansas beat Penn 89-71. Here's a look at the first half of tonight's second game, the Maryland GW contest. And Obina Akizi with 6 points in the half.
He had a very good start offensively against Alexander Koul. Maryland wanting to get Koul in foul trouble, but Koul did an excellent job on the offensive end. Here you see him getting a great entry pass from Masharakov and making that move to the left to make that shot. Shante Rogers here going right to the basket. 5'4", plays with no fear, and he had a great first half. 14 points and outplayed Terrell Stokes in a key matchup. Here's to Laurent Prophet. A little bit of showtime on the break. Good pass by Akizi to set it up.
And Prophet also had a good first half, scoring in double figures, and finished the half with 10 points. As we take a look at the leading scorers from the first half of tonight's game, and Rogers actually finished with 16 points in the half. Koul and Masharakov both with a bit of foul trouble, 9 points each. Maryland had 8 players score. Prophet, the only one in double figures with 10. Elliott 7 and Akizi with 6.
Well, the good news long-term for Gary Williams is they may wear GW down with 3 players getting 34 of the 39 points for George Washington.
Good crowd on hand at the MCI Center as we get set to start second half action between 2 local rivals, GW and Maryland, after these words.
At Great Clips, if you're not 100% satisfied with your haircut, we'll make it right, guaranteed. Because at Great Clips, our stylists stand behind every haircut. Great Clips, guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style. Why do so many people come back to Great Clips time after time? Consistency. No matter when you come in, which stylist cuts your hair, which look you choose, you'll always get a great haircut. Great Clips, guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style.
When you go to get a new muffler, some places treat you like a dog. First, you gotta perform tricks to even get them to work on it. Then they make you roll over and play dead while you wait for them to finish. And when the bill comes, you better beg for mercy. Not at Meineke. At Meineke, you'll always get a high-quality muffler and professional, no-nonsense service fast. In fact, you may want to shake their hand. Good boy, Rusty.
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Every year, millions of gallons of motor oil are poured down drains, dumped on the ground, and tossed into landfills. It's a crying shame for the environment and for everybody in it. That's why Advance Auto Parts provides free oil recycling at every store 7 days a week. Bring your used motor oil to Advance and make the future a cleaner, safer, happier place for all of us.
It's the holidays, and look what's going on at Rose's.
They really do have great savings here.
This Daewoo 27-inch TV is just $289.99, a $40 savings. Men's Dickies workwear, just $13.99. Or Sunbeam sale items, including the soft serve ice cream maker for $79.99.
We're always here on Fridays for Double Coupon Day and save a ton of money.
That's true, too.
That's the holiday sale going on right now at Rose's.
I'm not unreasonable. I just want everything. That's why I got Digital Choice Service from Bell Atlantic 9X Mobile. It has voice-activated dialing. I say, call Janet, call Dad, call the waiter, and it dials. The first incoming minute is free. Plus, I get all these cool features on an advanced digital network. So my phone works here, here, and everywhere in between. For monthly access under $20, including airtime, that's not unreasonable. That's Digital Choice. I'll have everything.
Welcome back to the MCI Center, where the halftime score is George Washington 39 and Maryland 37. Time now for our ACC update. And it features the Cavaliers of the University of Virginia, led by the three-point accuracy of guard Curtis Staples. UVA will play host to the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth University on Saturday. Jay Billis and Kevin Greavy will have the call for you. VCU and UVA live at 7:30 on HTS.
It's a great job by our producers finding highlights for UVA right now. I mean, Jeff Jones' team is struggling. I mean, I wish them all the best. I'm a big fan of Jeff Jones. I don't think he's getting nearly enough support down at UVA that he should have. He's got a superb record in 7 years there, 135 victories, been to 5 NCAA tournaments. And they are a little down this year. They knew they were going to lose Harold Dean. They didn't plan to lose Courtney Alexander, who got himself arrested on an assault charge this summer, and now is at Fresno State, which makes perfect sense, since Jerry Tarkanian's the coach there. And people ought to step up to the plate and give Jeff Jones some time and show some patience, because he's a good guy and a good basketball coach. And they had a really tough time down at Duke, but a lot of teams are going to have a tough time at Duke this year.
Jones learned from one of the best and played for one of the best, and
now works for him.
That's right.
Terry
on the tradition there.
And Virginia's in such a tough situation in recruiting. They have Maryland to the north, Duke and North Carolina to the south, a bunch of good other Division I programs in the state of Virginia, and yet they have been a consistently winning program since Terry Holland went there in 1974, first under Terry and then under Jeff. Struggling a little bit right now. I hope that they improve as the season goes on. Jeff Jones' teams always get better.
Well, let's take a look at the Roses playbook from the first half of tonight's game. And John, why don't you review that for us, if you will?
Well, Alexander Koul shot the ball 5 times. That's not enough, but he's made 4. That's the good news. GW has been patient, has not shot quickly. That's why they're 15 for 30 from the floor. And when Maryland did make that run, turned them over with their pressure a couple times, they did keep their cool. Most notably, Shante Rogers made a couple of big shots. Maryland, I don't think they've had an emotional letdown. I think they played a good first half. GW's just picked up their play from yesterday against Penn. Akizi and Elliott are not in foul trouble, so that's not been a problem. And as you mentioned, the foul trouble at the moment is on the GW side. Masharikoff with 3 and Koul with 2. Right there's the key man in the game, Shante Rogers, with 16 points, 2 assists. I thought he had more than 2 assists, frankly, but I never questioned Marty Aronoff, and 3 assists.
The junior from Lake Clifton High School in Baltimore, Maryland. Rogers went 5 of 10 from the floor, 2 of 5 from three-point range, made all 4 of his free throws. And as you look at the long-range shooting, John, George Washington taking 10 shots in the first half, making 4. Maryland just 2 three-point jumpers and making 1.
Well, Maryland wants to go inside. They want to do 2 things. They want to turn you over, run the floor, and get layups out of it, and they've done that some of the time. And they want to get inside. And they've gotten the ball inside, and they're shooting a very good percentage. But because they've been out-rebounded 18 to 12, and because the turnovers are 9-9, GW's right in this ball game.
And Maryland shooting 10 of 12 from the free throw line, 83%. And Mike Jarvis's club, 5 of 9, 55.6%. Jarvis has led the Colonials to 3 trips to the NCAAs and 2 NITs. And George Washington has been there many times. So has Gary Williams.
Gary Williams has been in the NCAA tournament the last 4 years. Maryland has never gone to the NCAA 5 straight years.
That would be a record for the Terrapins if he can get them back there this season.
Never in history has Maryland been to 5 straight NCAAs, even under Lefty Drizel. I've just been handed an insulting note by Tim Higgins.
Can I have the pleasure of reading it?
Yeah, it's not an inaccurate one. It's just insulting.
It says, and I quote, "This is the greasiest country in the world."
Greatest country in the world. Where'd you go to college?
You sure it doesn't say greasiest?
I think it says greatest.
This is the greatest country in the world if your ugly face can be on TV.
I've been called ugly by Barney Rubble. Life is grand. Tim ought to get his head back in the game.
It says half on the game and half on the broadcast crew.
Here, I talk in the first half that he's one of the best officials in the country, and what do I get in return?
Only praise, John.
But getting back to the basketball game, which I'm sure people would like us to do, one of the keys for GW in the second half is they're going to have to get production from more than the three guys who carried them in the first half, Rogers, Masharikoff, and Koul. They are a deep team. Mike Jarvis plays his bench, but they've got to get more production out of the other players if they're going to pull this upset. They've got to continue to rebound, continue to handle the Maryland pressure, and get scoring from more people.
In the first contest tonight, the University of Kansas was victorious over Pennsylvania by the final of 89-71. That the consolation game tonight as Kansas improves to 9-1 on the year, losing to Maryland last night. And here at the break, as we get set to start second half action, George Washington leads the Terps 39-37.
I wonder if both teams can keep up the pace. They're both playing for the second time in a little more than 24 hours that we saw in the first half, because that really was a torrid pace up and down the floor. I said before, I think the torrid pace will eventually benefit Maryland, but so far GW's hung right in.
Maryland has made 14 NCAA appearances, 2 in the Final 8 in 73 and 75, 5 in the Sweet 16. Under Gary Williams, 2 Sweet 16 trips and 2 first rounds and out.
They were in the Sweet 16 in 1993, upsetting Massachusetts in the second round before losing to Michigan. 94 went back to the Sweet 16 and lost to Connecticut. Excuse me, 94 and 95. I'm a year behind.
GW to trigger in, nearly stolen. J.J. Braid, nice bounce pass. Koul waits and scores.
Mike Jarvis couldn't ask for a better start than that, getting the ball to Koul and getting a layup.
Koul 5 of 6 from the floor, and GW has a 4-point lead. Akizi turnaround is good.
Quick answer from Abina Akizi, and I think you'll see Maryland continue to pound the ball inside and try and work on that foul trouble for Koul and Masharikoff.
Akizi has 8 off the back of the rim, no. Chased down by Rodney Elliott.
It's Rodney Rogers who's got a score.
That's right. Yasikavicius drives, and he's fouled.
Yasikavicius had a relatively quiet first half with 4 points and 2 assists. When he plays well, Maryland is awfully tough to beat because he's like an extra weapon in the arsenal.
Third personal on Koul. Gets position and the rebound. Nearly stolen. Here's Braid. 3 on 2, and now he'll back it out.
And obviously that third personal is a big one. We talked about the fact that Koul needed to avoid it. He gets it inside a minute.
Stolen away by Akizi. Terrell Stokes.
Very poor entry pass by Masharikoff there.
Akizi now challenged, and Rogers almost went through his legs.
Could walk through his legs.
Yasikavicius off the mark. Here's Rogers. 3 on 1, now 3 on 2. Stops and shoots, and that's strong. And over the top will be Rodney Elliott.
You wonder why coaches get gray hair. You wonder why they lose their hair. 3 on 2, and somebody takes a pull-up jump shot.
It's the third personal foul on Rodney Elliott.
They got away with it because Elliott committed the foul. But see, he's got guys on both wings there, and he chooses to take the pull-up jumper.
GW will take it in underneath. Mike Jarvis in his 8th year at Foggy Bottom. And players all over the place they call traveling. And a turnover to Maryland.
I think that was a good call. I think he fell down on his own. Had the ball in good position, but couldn't get his feet set. We saw Rafe LaFrentz in the first game, a big man with soft hands, and Koul same way.
Stokes around Rogers. Pass to Akizi. That's knocked away. Back to Stokes. Yasikavicius for 3.
As I said, when he gets going, Maryland tends to get going, because then who do you drop off on if Yasikavicius is hot?
And the Terps back up by 1. Masharikoff around Yasikavicius, lost the ball, and it goes to the Terps. Trying to do too much by himself, John.
A little bit out of control there. And again, another juncture in the game. Maryland making a little bit of a run here. They've scored 5 points in a row. They get the ball back on a turnover. GW needs to keep calm, keep things cool, and get the game back under control.
GW with 3 turnovers in the first 2 minutes of this half.
Only had 9 in the first half.
Akizi dumps it off. Great pass.
Excellent look. Great cut by Laurent Prophet.
12 points for Prophet. Had 13 last night in the win over Kansas. Rogers back to Masharikoff. Kicks it back out. Very physical. GW working extremely hard to get an open shot.
Maryland's really picked it up on defense here in the last couple minutes.
8 on the shot clock. Rogers pulls up. Oh, what a beautiful jumper.
That is really a tough shot. I mean, he's 5'4". He's got Terrell Stokes at 6'2", draped all over him, and he swishes it.
18 for Shawntae Rogers.
That wasn't bad defense by Stokes.
Yasikavich is off a pick. And Sharunas has 9.
Heating up. Maryland bench, very intense over there. Gary Williams. Billy Hahn, who's one of the few people I know who can match Gary for intensity. Right behind him. Been with him since his first day at Maryland.
Rogers baseline, short jumper, beauty.
What a game he's having.
20 for Rogers.
And they're going to put Matt Kovarik in the game to try and slow him down a little bit.
Stokes against Rogers. Here's Prophet off the pick. And he got fouled on the elbow. They'll call it on Masharikoff. And that's 4 on him.
And that's obviously redundant to say that it's a big foul.
So Masharikoff has 4 and Koul has 3.
That's serious foul trouble for GW. That's 2 of their 3 key guys in serious foul trouble. You see Billy Hahn over on the Maryland bench talking to Terrell Stokes right now about the difficulties of guarding Shawntae Rogers. Billy, former guard at Maryland himself, played for Lefty Drizel, came back, was a head coach at Ohio University, came back, as I said, to Maryland with Gary Williams, both Maryland alums, and they've done a great job together rebuilding this program to where it is. Matt Hahn, Billy's son, is a walk-on on the team.
Prophet with his 13th point makes 1 of 2 and gives Maryland a 2-point advantage. Iturbe in the game.
Prophet has such quick hands.
Seiko Camara. Against Kovarik. Rogers in and out. Follow no good. It was blocked away. And the ball out of bounds, given to Maryland.
I don't know that Matt Kovarik's defense was any better than Terrell Stokes' was, but Rogers still got the shot off. There's Matt Hahn there at the end of the Maryland bench, standing up and leading the cheers or the exhortations. He's 155 pounds when he's wearing about 10 pounds worth of clothing.
Elliott, baseline. Turns. That's short. Tip no good by Akizi. Out of bounds and given back to the Terps.
Good hustle by Braid, but the ball was off him.
Timeout on the floor. 15:47 to go in regulation. Maryland by 2.
Come on, we aren't getting any younger.
Maybe the birds should try.
I need new brakes.
New glasses, too.
Georgie here says that Meineke's the place to go for new brakes.
That's right. At Meineke, you'll always get dependable, high-quality brakes and professional same-day service, all at that great Meineke price. Let's go.
Now, where's that bird going?
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
My mother taught me to be a real perfectionist, but around the house, I'm pretty relaxed. I think you should have beauty and comfort. So I looked in the real yellow pages from Bell South for a real comfy sofa and a real cozy rug. If it's called a living room, it should be lived in. No, don't sit on that.
Sorry.
No grape juice in here.
Sorry.
Like I said, relaxed.
Use the real yellow pages from Bell South.
Ready to play. The Blue Devils are ready to play on HTS. Let's give 100% plus 10% more. You better get ready. Anybody who takes nights off is going to be in some hot water. You should be in great condition. No excuses. Let's just get it done. We're really going to have to be ready to play.
Virginia, ready to play for state bragging rights against VCU. Saturday night at 7:30 on HTS.
You just have to be ready to play.
Maryland leads by 2 with 15:47 to go in the half. Shawntae Rogers has hit for 20 points tonight. His career high is 25 last season against Virginia Tech in February. He had 21 earlier this season against Delaware, which so far is his season high.
And perhaps just as significant, he's only turned the ball over twice against that Maryland pressure. That's one of the reasons we still got a close ball game.
Akese against Koul, who has 3 personals.
And see if they don't try to go back to Akese and get that 4th foul on Koul. You don't want to get out of your offense that way, but if it's there, you should certainly look for it.
Kovarik around Akese, around Koul, back to Akese, nearly stolen away by the leaping Rogers. Yasikavicius traveled. Yes.
Yeah. He went for the jump stop, but I don't think he got it. And a lot of players like that jump stop move because it's not a walk. Gary Williams is saying he jump stopped to Tim Higgins across court, and Tim's laughing at him.
Well, I think what he did was drag the pivot.
Yeah, he did. He did. It's a good call by Ted Valentine.
GW can tie or take the lead with a 3. This second half stolen by Profit. Another one of the steals. Knocked away from behind, but saved by Profit. Yasikavicius. Kovarik.
Nice look by Yasikavicius there. Would have been easy to go up and shoot the 12-foot jump shot, but he saw a better shot for Kovarik and got him the ball. Key juncture here right now for GW. I think they need a touch from Koul.
Underneath, foul on Akese. Second personal on him.
Get the ball to Koul and good things tend to happen. They sometimes forget about him. And they need not to, especially right now. See if they try to go to him on the inbound.
Excuse me, John.
Sorry, Steve.
Profit, by the way, has scored in double figures in all 7 games this year. Koul stolen away by Profit, another steal. That's 4 in the game. Jumper off the mark. Akese fights for it. Little strong, and Maryland will have it again. Profit for 3. Tip is good. Rodney Elliott.
Big sequence there for Maryland. Good steal by Profit, and they just pounded the boards.
Largest lead of the game for the Terps, and Jarvis takes a 20-second timeout.
That's a good timeout by Mike Jarvis, because with this crowd, a lot of GW fans here tonight. We've got another really good crowd, but Maryland still has the majority of fans here. They're getting into the game. Mike Jarvis says, let's calm things down here for a minute.
You mentioned the 2 Hans. There's father and son.
Which is the father?
The guy with the working clothes on.
You tell which one's the coach because he's got the gray hair.
Speaking of that.
And there are the Mike Jarvises. Mike Jarvis and Mike Jarvis II. I like to call Mike Jarvis II the real Mike Jarvis, just to annoy his father.
In the meantime, LaRon Profit has now moved ahead of Albert King and into 9th place on Maryland's all-time steals list.
Pretty good. 7 games into your junior year.
He's got 120 for his career. Johnny Rhodes, the all-time leader, with 344.
That might be tough to catch.
Sherikoff is in the game and has 4 personals, but Maryland the rebound and a 6-point lead.
I think Mike Jarvis did not want that shot that quickly after the timeout.
Whistle, and a foul will be called on Maryland. Tim Higgins makes the call. Charge to number 24 against the Terps. Well, it would have been 24. Was on 25. Rodney Elliott.
Rodney Elliott's 4th foul, and that's a big call for 2 reasons. 1, GW desperately needs a bucket here before the lead gets bigger, and 2, Mike Martisic will have to report in on the next dead ball for Elliott.
Lobbing from Sherikoff, fadeaway jumper, rims it, tipped by Koul is good. Alexander Koul, 13 points tonight.
Akese had to come over to help, and that left Koul open for the tip.
Elliott into Akese, turns on Koul, offensive foul, and it's a good call.
Yeah.
Excellent position as the backside help came.
I was screened, but let's see what it looks like here. Here he comes. Yeah, that's a good call. He got there in time.
One more look at Iturbe, who comes across to get possession.
He's standing there. That's a good call. Gary Williams does not have the angle we have.
He'll see it later.
He'll still think it was a bad call.
Camara. Good position by 3 white jerseys.
GW starting to quick shoot, something they can't afford to do. They need more patience.
Yasikavich is no good. Camara hauls down the rebound.
Now they need to get Alexander Koul a touch on this possession.
Rogers stops. That's strong. Koul tries for it.
Well, he got a touch, but it was on a rebound.
That's right.
With one hand. That's
Somebody
not
was
good
hanging
enough.
on him. Cherikov looking for Koul inside.
Quite a battle, Koul and Akizi in there.
Koul has his touch, squeaks through, no call, but Iturbe there for the rebound and the follow.
He missed the shot, but what happened? They had to double team him, and Iturbe's wide open for the layup.
Good move by Iturbe to go to the hoop.
Yep. Down that weak side rebound waiting for him.
2-point Maryland lead. Heck of a ball game. Profit.
Missed the foul there.
Yep. Akizi. Cherikov the board.
And Gary Williams needs to calm down a little bit because, tell you what, Jim Burr has one of the quickest triggers on the technical in all of college basketball. And he'll take only so much. Gary's still upset about that call a couple possessions ago.
Cherikov baseline, has it slapped away and saved in, but gets it back. And scores to tie the game at 51.
I think we're going to see a 20-second timeout the other way now, perhaps. Nope, Gary says, let's play. Good run by GW from down 6 to tie the game.
6-0 run for the Colonials. Touch pass to Kabark. He traveled, no call. And Martisic lost it out of bounds. They'll give it back to Maryland.
Very physical basketball game right now. Back and forth. This is great stuff.
A break in the action with 11:06 to go in regulation. All tied at 51.
Now at Rose's, it's the jewelry and gift sale. Get that special gift for that special someone at a special price.
You know, they've got some really nice things in here.
This beautiful gold jewelry, your choice at 60% off. Ladies boxed knitwear, 30% off. And Holly Pine dinnerware and gold accessories, 25% off.
I like that it doesn't take all day to get in and out of here.
That's the jewelry and gift sale, now through December 13th at Rose's.
Suppose you're good at something, say making people look good. So you start a company and it grows. But then before you know it, you become a part-time accountant and financial manager. Not what I had in mind. Well, Nations Bank has services designed for businesses just like mine. High-speed fund transfers, revolving credit lines, direct deposit to pay my employees. So I can get back to what I'd rather be doing.
Hi, welcome to Great Clips.
Hey, welcome to Great Clips.
Welcome to Great Clips. So, how much would you like taken off the top today?
Why is it that no matter which Great Clips you visit, you'll find the same consistent, friendly service time after time? It's our ongoing commitment to training, because the way we see it, if our stylists are consistently good,
What do you think? So, how do you like it?
our customers will be consistently happy.
I love it. It's great. See you soon.
Great Clips. Guaranteed satisfaction, guaranteed style.
Watch the feet of Maryland senior Matt Kabarek, number 11, very closely.
This is the old referee, Steve Buckhantz, giving us a course in the travel.
Oh, that's a travel right there. He carried the ball.
No call, though. And then the two teams battling for the rebound there.
Rogers, Koul, and Cherikov have 44 of GW's 51 points. The rest of the team just 3 of 13 from the floor and a total of 7 points.
And that's 10 of 12 in this second half. And said at halftime that I didn't think GW could win without some help from the other guys. I'll stick with that.
Since Yegor Cherikov came back in the game with 4 fouls, GW is on a 6-0 run. Profit around Camarade. Tough shot. Good defense. And saved by Macherikov.
Excellent defense by Camarade there. It's really hard to get a piece of Laurent Profit's shot, and he did that.
Macherikov wants it. Dumps it. DeMiranda. That's blocked and rebounded by Akizi. Alley-oop. No. Whistle and a foul. They'll call a body foul underneath on Shante Rogers.
He literally went underneath. And Gary Williams was about 2 feet onto the court, making sure that foul was called. Good pass here by Matt Gavark. Very smart play. Sees Rodney Elliott, or Terrence Morris there, who's only got, I got to do some math here, 16 inches on Shante Rogers. Says I throw it up there, Shante's not likely to get up and get it.
Morris, a 64% free throw shooter, a freshman from Frederick, Maryland, went to Thomas Jefferson High. Scored 11 points against Florida International. That's the high of his career.
Now, I don't want to make this comparison in the wrong way, but the last time I heard Gary Williams is excited about a freshman player was 4 years ago when Joe Smith arrived at Maryland. I'm not saying Terrence Morris is Joe Smith or he's going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft in 2 years, but that's how good Gary Williams thinks he can become.
Yeah, he appears to be the real deal.
He got a little bit of stage fright here early, which is understandable for a freshman.
Terps have only missed 3 foul shots tonight, 13 of 16. Macherikov all the way, that's strong, and pulled down by Maryland.
Pulled down by Morris, who played good defense on Macherikov on that possession.
Terps by 2. Here's Morris, the freshman, to Matt Gavark, the senior, from Greensboro, North Carolina. To Grimsley High School. Martisic, a freshman. 6 on the shot clock. Profit all the way. Little strong. Rebound to Iturbe. Macherikov. Little strong. Camarade fights, but it's taken down by Profit.
Again, GW has to be careful about quick shooting, but it helps if you get the ball right back.
For Rogers. And now they'll have to set it back up after the steal.
Good reset there by
Macherikov is hit and fouled, and it's obvious, I think, the strategy. They're going to Macherikov right now.
Yeah, they feel that with Morris in the game, being a freshman, they think he can take advantage. Now, that time he had Profit on him, but he posts him, uses his size and his quickness, and Morris comes over and commits the foul.
Second personal on Laurent Profit.
Oh, they called it on Profit, excuse me.
So Macherikov to the line, a 71% free throw shooter.
He needs to slow down here a little bit. He's doing everything fast right now. Makes that free throw, but I think Iturbe is telling him right now, calm down, take your time, there's no rush. Make the free throws, tie the game up, and then we'll play 9:27 to see who wins.
He scored in double figures in now 7 of 9 games. He's got 12 points, 6 rebounds, but playing with 4 fouls and now 13 points. And the game once again tied at 53. It has been a sensational battle. And very reminiscent of last year's championship game when these same 2 schools squared off.
Similar type game.
Turnover Maryland. GW comes up with it. They can take the lead. J.J. Braid.
Why would anybody not want to play a local rival? This is good. This is just fun.
Especially for the fans. Peasy knocks it away. Ball on the ground. They'll call a jump ball. Possession arrow to Maryland.
You know what? It's fun for the players, too. They love to play against the guys who they see during this summer. It gives them something to talk about. That's what made the Big Five in Philadelphia great for all those years before Villanova virtually killed it by insisting on playing only 2 games instead of 4. Here you see everybody on the floor going for the ball, and Akizi not very happy with Koul. Kind of threw what looked like a semi-punch there.
Both teams with 14 TOs.
Sorry, Steve, wasn't really a punch, but a shove.
Gavark around Braid. Terrence Morris. Oh, what a great jump hook by Martisic.
Good-looking shot for a freshman.
Sure was.
Good-looking shot for a senior.
That's right. Iturbe, not an offensive player.
Tim Smith found the Iturbe family very offensive.
And they'll call a foul, I think, on Terrell Stokes. No, they're going to get it on Matt Kavart. His first.
You mentioned Matt Kavart, Grimsley High School, my roommate in college. Dr. Steve Sanders, graduate of Grimsley High School.
How about that?
You know that means a lot to Matt.
Misherakov.
Tough shot. He's very good going to his left and pulling up to shoot the ball right-handed.
15 points. The average is 13.7 a game.
Just a junior.
Season high is 20. In the loss to Texas Tech.
He's about the only Colonial who showed up for that game.
7:36 to go in regulation. Morris will fire, air ball.
Not the shot Maryland wanted there. Freshman's big guy taking a three-pointer. He can shoot that shot, but at this moment, it's not the shot you want. You want to get the ball inside and let Akizi go to work. Or Martisic, for that matter.
Braid with Stokes on him. Misherakov around the screen. Iturbe inside, swatted away from behind. Regained by Braid. 5 seconds on the shot clock. I don't think GW knows it.
Too late.
Shot clock violation, and they didn't realize when that shot went up that it did not hit the iron.
Right.
And therefore the shot clock did not reset. And nobody knew it. 6:55 to go in regulation. This game tied at 55.
Before you buy a digital wireless phone, Bell Atlantic Mobile wants you to ask this simple question. Does it work just about everywhere? Does it work here and out here? Does your phone sound clear here? The fact is, Boston, D.C., nobody has more digital coverage with the most advanced digital technology than we do. A cell phone is only as good as the network it's on. Choose Bell Atlantic Mobile.
A season of joy. The Hurricanes in December on HTS. Ready to give some surprise gifts in 6 games. The Islanders, hard-hitting Phoenix, the Senators, the Capitals, Lindros and the powerful Flyers, and the Mighty Ducks. Get ready to spend the holidays with the Hurricanes, because it's always better to give than to receive. The Hurricanes, ready for holiday cheer all December long, only on HTS.
Welcome back, ladies. I trust you had a great summer. Professor Casey Jones in the house. How did you spend your summer vacations, Miss Rosati?
I did drill after drill. I had a picnic with some fans. I pumped up for the season. I relaxed with a game of golf.
Miss Steele?
I took a family trip, did a little modeling, got ready to kick rookie butt.
But now it's time for basketball season.
Portland and Seattle meet Sunday at 7 on HTS.
6:55 to go in regulation. Let's set the timeouts for you. George Washington has 2 full and 1 20 timeout. Maryland has 2 full and 2 20s. GW has only committed 3 team fouls. The Terps 6 in this half.
Well, we talked about their foul trouble with Misherakov and Koul, but Misherakov picked up 1, Koul picked up 1, and the whole team has only picked up 1 other, and that could play a role going down the stretch if they're not in the bonus.
In its 3rd year, the Franklin Bank Classic, which has raised over $1 million for children's charities in the Washington metropolitan area. We congratulate all those involved with the Franklin Bank Classic. Steve Buckhantz, John Feinstein from the MCI Center in Washington.
The zone here by GW. Mike Jarvis showing Maryland a different look.
Akizi had it knocked away by Iturbe out of bounds. 12 on the shot clock.
See if they continue to zone off the inbounds. Gary Williams over there campaigning with his friend Jim Burr for a slap foul.
10 ties in the game. We're knotted at 55. Yasikevich is having a tough time getting it in and throws it into the backcourt, which is allowed in college basketball.
Clock down to 6.
Stokes. Akizi all over somebody's back.
Sure was.
And they've really been letting him pound on the boards inside.
Koul and Akizi really going at it at both ends. Very physical battle between those two. See if they get Koul involved in the offense here, which I think they need to do.
Mesherikov looking for Koul. He's in that lane. Now comes out. 9 on the shot clock. Rogers fade away. He's hit and fouled, I think, by Stokes.
It's on the floor, but it'll be 1-1.
Going to say before the shot went up.
Be 1-1. That's their 7th foul.
And there is a timeout on the floor, I believe, or not. Now just Tim Higgins indicating the 1-1.
See, Rogers just beat him with the left hand. And Stokes got there a little bit late and fouled him across the neck.
Rogers perfect from the free throw line, 5 of 5, and has 21 points. And as we told you before, his career high 25.
Terrell Stokes is going to have nightmares about Shante Rogers for about 2 weeks.
But they'll be small nightmares.
Small nightmares. He's going to count 5'4" guards to try to fall asleep.
GW by 2. 8 lead changes in the game. Here's Profit. For Stokes for 3. Akizi the board.
Big rebound there by Obina Akizi. A little bit of a long rebound, and he came across the lane to get it.
Game tied for the 11th time. Koul has not taken a shot in over 5 minutes. Mesherikov. Oh, tough jumper.
He has, though. Playing with 4 fouls, he's been superb.
What a game this has been. 17 points for Yegor Mesherikov. Yasikevich will fire and hit it off the glass.
That's a tough shot.
11 for the senior guard from Kaunas, Lithuania. Inside Koul. Stripped away and a turnover.
Good defense there by Maryland, denying Koul the ball, which is what they want to do.
Akizi spins, has it stripped and stolen. A couple of times that's happened to them tonight.
When you're a big guy, you cannot put the ball on the floor in the lane in traffic, especially when you got this guy there.
4:20 to go in regulation. Game tied at 59. Shot clock. Mesherikov, that's off.
I don't think he called that.
John and I both shaking our heads saying that thing's way off.
Gary Williams just threw his arms up in the air and went, come on. You got to be kidding. And he calls it 20.
From where we sat, it looked like it was off the mark, but it was off the glass instead.
Well, it hit the glass, but it didn't even hit inside the square. I mean, watch this. It looks like it's way off. Excellent defense by Profit here. Pushed him out of the post. Mesherikov goes left, gets a screen, forces it, and Akizi comes out on him, and it hit right on the top of the backboard and went in. Mesherikov says, I called it.
He's played a terrific game.
I'm not sure Koul didn't move on that screen, too.
Mesherikov with 20 points against Pennsylvania, 8 rebounds and 4 assists.
And Mesherikov has played the last 10.5 minutes with 4 fouls and has scored 10 points. Marty Aronoff just keeps coming up with these numbers.
Mesherikov is 1 point away from his season high, which was 20 against Virginia Tech. Or rather, Texas Tech.
All right, let's see if Maryland doesn't try to go to Yasikevich, who's being guarded by Mesherikov with the 4 fouls. They did, but he gave it up.
Elliott with a turbe on him. Koul, Akizi. Inside, they'll call a turbe with a foul. Reaching across, Rodney Elliott.
That's only the 4th team foul. Gary thinks it's 1-1, but it's only 14 fouls.
And I believe there's a timeout called on the floor.
I'm going to make a prediction here. It's TV timeout, but I'm going to make a prediction that Gary and Jim Burr are not going out for a beer after this game.
3:38 to go in regulation. We'll be back after these words.
When you go to get a new muffler, some places treat you like a dog. First, you got to perform tricks to even get them to work on it. Then they make you roll over and play dead while you wait for them to finish. And when the bill comes, you better beg for mercy. Not at Meineke. At Meineke, you'll always get a high-quality muffler and professional, no-nonsense service fast. In fact, you may want to shake their hand. Good boy, Rusty.
At Meineke, you're not going to pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Hans and Elke Yeager had just moved in next door. So I thought I'd stop by and introduce myself. So how's it going? Couldn't help but notice they didn't speak much English, and that they were probably going to need some help setting up their phone service. Of course, as the resident phone guy, I knew Bell South spoke several languages, including German. So I put Hans on the line while I continued to visit with his family.
Never mind. For complete computer network systems and applications designed especially for your company, call TimeBridge Technologies, 888-402-1300.
Mitsubishi is our newest dealership at Len Stoller. We have a variety of vehicles, from luxury sedans to sporty models to sport utility vehicles, all Len Stoller priced to save you more than any other Mitsubishi dealer.
The Wizards, ready to play all season long on HTS.
All right, time to check out our Bell South play of the game. John, you do the honors.
Well, we just called it a minute ago. There you see Masharikov and Kesey, hand right in his face. Shots way off. Swish. Bank swish.
Bank swish. I don't think he called glass.
No, I don't think he called glass.
But they all count.
I don't think he called Chris glass.
Rogers, Masharikov, and Koul have 54 of GW's 61 points. And in this half, Profit and Elliott, only 5 points between them.
Difference is Maryland has more weapons. They can go to different people. Like him. That was an NBA three.
Mike Martisic.
Well, that was
Yesikavicius, rather. 14 points. 10 in this half. Koul working hard. Left-handed hook. No. Rebound. Profit.
Good defense by Kesey there. Pushed him out just far enough that he missed the shot.
He wanted the foul, but didn't get it. Maryland by 1. 3 minutes to go.
Big possession here. That three by Yesikavicius might be the play of the game.
It might be.
This won't be sponsored.
Oh, I can't believe they called a foul on that. Knocked away by Koul. That's his fourth.
You hate to see touch fouls called at this stage of the game.
I mean, with all of the contact and the battling that's been going on between him and Kesey, they call him for reaching over the top, and there wasn't that much contact.
Billy Hahn, very calm.
Another one is fired up, no, but Profit chases it down.
Big rebound.
Yesikavicius. Profit for three. Big rebound, Masharikov.
Two great chances for Maryland. Gary Williams not happy with that shot. He thought Profit shot it too quickly. Mike Jarvis trying to set his offense now. See if they go inside to Koul again, or if they try to go to Masharikov.
Seiko Cameron. Iturbe. They leave him alone, basically. Shot clock at 6. Rogers knocked away. Koul has it. Fires up. Oh, what a shot!
Gary Williams is just in disbelief. Those are two of the more remarkable shots we've seen in a long time.
15 for Koul and a 20-second timeout taken by the Terps.
Problem is, Gary's got nobody to get angry with here because his team played excellent defense and Koul just made a remarkable shot. The good defense there by Stokes on that time. Good defense by Kesey. Banks it in.
What can you do?
Call a 20-second timeout.
He
may be going to Disney World after that shot.
The last GW win over Maryland came on December 10th, 1977, 101-90. It's been that long.
That was in Koul Fieldhouse. I remember that game. That was Albert King's freshman year. Greg Manning's freshman year, too.
Last year, GW lost to Maryland in the championship of this very tournament, 74-68. The year before that, they lost to Maryland 98-81 in the consolation game of the Franklin Bank.
And we're down to 156, so now every possession is critical.
Colonials by one. Profit baseline all the way. Lays it off for Elliott. Tipped out, and Rogers has it for the Colonials. 3-on-2. Camera for three. Knocked out of bounds, goes to Maryland.
I thought that was off of Maryland.
Looked like it.
That was a big shots at both ends. Rodney Elliott had a great look, and then Camara wanted that three-point shot. He was pointing to the spot, asking for the ball. Got it, and the ball rimmed out.
1:30 to go in regulation. Akezi. Elliott. Stolen away by Rogers. And he's fouled.
What a play by Rogers. He's done that, it seems like 10 times in the game.
He's done it 4.
At least. Seems like 10. Probably seems like 20 to Gary Williams. So, Elliott, good move. And Gary Williams wanted to foul there, but he stripped him clean. It was a good strip. Had 2 hands on the basketball. And Tim Higgins just told Gary Williams he's heard enough. And that's code, by the way. When you see an official turn around and say that's enough, that means next time my fingers make the T sign.
And Rodney Elliott has fouled out of this basketball game with 1:23 to go, 5 personals.
Ashante Rogers, not a great free throw shooter, and it's 1-1 here. We're not in a 2-shot bonus yet. That was just their 8th foul.
That was one of your keys, I believe, in the Roses playbook, was to keep Rodney Elliott out of foul trouble.
Now, wait a minute. What did they call?
2 shots. They said it was intentional.
Now I understand why Gary Williams was so upset.
And Rogers misses his first free throw of the game. Now 6 of 7 from the free throw line.
That was not an intentional foul. That was a frustration foul by Elliott because he'd had the ball stolen. But that's key because they get the 1 point and they get the basketball back with a 2-point lead.
And the most critical part of that is getting the ball back.
Exactly. I do not understand why that was called an intentional foul.
I will say this, when the call was made, the intentional sign was brought up, which are the arms crossed, instantly.
Yeah, well, maybe we can get another replay up on that because I don't see where that was called intentional. Maybe I missed something here. Here, Akezi spins and comes Elliott. Rogers makes the great steal.
Right there. Oh, he grabbed his jersey. He grabbed him by the jersey.
All right, you saw it better than I did. It looked like he was reaching for the ball, but if he did grab the jersey, that's why it was called.
One more look. I don't know if you'll see it from this angle. No, you won't. The other angle was better, and you saw him grab the jersey.
Well, you've got those sharp ref's eyes. You don't miss anything.
Yep. There it is, Butch, right there.
Yeah, you can see it there. He sure did grab the jersey. Good call by the officials. Good call by Steve Buckham. Say the eyes are the second thing to go.
Rogers gets around trouble, fires it up to Koul. He'll back it out.
Interesting there. Koul had a chance to go to the basket. There's a lot of time.
Sure it is.
Chose to bring the ball back out. That may be as good an opportunity as they'll get on this possession.
GW by 2, 64-62. Masharikoff around the screen to Camara. He shoots. He scores!
As I said, that's a good shot, but good patience worked out. 4-point lead under a minute.
GW looking for payback from last year. Camara 5 points and 5 rebounds, and Maryland takes time.
Now, I'm going to tell you what Gary Williams is going to say in the huddle right now. He's going to say, guys, 4 nights ago at Clemson, we were up 4 with a minute to go, and we lost the ball game in overtime. 55.1 seconds is a long time. We've got to make sure we get a good shot. We don't need a 3. Let's just get a good shot here. Great reversal there by Masharikoff. Camara loves to shoot that 3. He's right on his spot. Switch. So Alexander Koul did make the right move when he gave the ball up early in that possession. Good pass. Very confident shot by Camara.
Right up on that line.
That's what they practice every day.
Alexander Koul with 15 points. GW still has 2 full timeouts, John. Maryland has 1.
Three-point shots become so dominant in college basketball now.
And GW has committed 5 team fouls.
Right, they have a foul to give. Now, I don't think at this stage you use the foul. You try to dig in, play defense, and make Maryland use as much of the 31 seconds they have left on the clock as possible, because even if Maryland scores, if they can make Maryland use 20 seconds of the shot clock, then they don't need to shoot the ball again.
What you don't want to do is foul them in the act of shooting and give them a chance for a 3-point play.
Absolutely correct. And, of course, Maryland doesn't even need to think in terms of a 3 here. It's a 2-possession game. I think they'll probably try to either get an open drive or look for Laurent Prophet or get it in the low post to Akisi, remembering again that Koul has 4 fouls.
Junior guard Shawntae Rogers has 23 points and 4 steals and only 2 turnovers.
5-point lead here, since that was a 3 for Camara, 67-62.
Masharikoff, Koul, Iturbe, Rogers, and Sekou Camara for George Washington.
Little confusion over on the scoreboard there because Camara was close enough to the 3-point line. They weren't sure if it was a 2 or 3. It was a 3.
Stokes and Prophet, Martisic, Akisi, and Yesikavicius for the Terps. Prophet to Yesikavicius for 3. Short. Oh, big rebound, Koul.
That was a good play and a good shot. They got a man open.
Camara misses the lay-in. Stokes the other way. He's fouled by Iturbe.
Now let's see if they call it on the floor. Is it on the floor or is it 2 shots?
It's on the floor.
So they inbound it. They don't go to the line. That was here's Camara. He just gets careless here. It looks like he wanted to dunk and then realized he was too far away and the ball kind of slipped off his hands.
So the guy from making the big shot a moment ago misses an easy one.
Could go from hero to goat in a matter of seconds.
Maryland takes a time.
And Gary Williams is just amazed they have to use their last full timeout because they couldn't get the ball inbound.
Look at Mike Jarvis.
This would be as big a win as Mike Jarvis has had since he got to GW. In 1993, they went to the Sweet 16. Obviously, that was huge. But I would say, other than when their upsets over #1 ranked Massachusetts, which they did 2 years in a row, this would be the next biggest win, and with an extra dash to it because it is such a big local rivalry.
Year before last was George Washington's best record in 41 years, 21-8. They were ranked 24th in the AP poll, played Iowa in the West region in Tempe, lost 81-79 to the then 21st ranked Hawkeyes.
And that was as devastating a loss as Mike Jarvis has suffered at GW because they had a 17-point lead in that game. And I think Mike feels that was his best team. That was the team that upset #1 UMass during the course of the regular season. Now, on the last possession, Maryland got a great shot for Sharunas Yesikavicius. He couldn't make it. See what they do here. I think what the Gary Williams is going to say is if a 3 is there, take it, but don't feel you must shoot a 3. They need a 2 and a 3 on their next 2 possessions, so they might as well just look for whichever is the best shot, a 2 or a 3.
The Meineke player of the game, what do you think, John?
I think you see we had the biggest guy in the first game, Rafe LaFrentz. I think we go with the smallest guy in this game. Shawntae Rogers.
It is Shawntae Rogers who has been sensational this evening. Well, Maryland took a 62-61 lead, you remember, on Yesikavicius' 3-pointer with 3:29 to go. But since then, GW has outscored the Terps 6-0.
Yeah, and that bank shot that Alexander Koul made gave them the lead back, and that was obviously critical.
And in Maryland's last 4 possessions, they are 0 of 3 from the floor with Elliott's turnover.
And they've had some good shots. Yesikavicius' shot was a good shot. Elliott's shot from the left-hand side was a good look. They need to get a shot off quickly here.
You see the time remaining in the regulation. Inbounds is taken by Martisic. Yesikavicius for 3. Rebound, GW, and Camara is fouled by Akizi.
Yasikevich just looked like he short-armed it. That's not a bad shot for him. He was open, had time, just came up way short.
Still time, 27 seconds, but a 5-point GW lead. So these free throws are critical.
Foul number 9, so it's still just 1-1. And some of the Maryland fans heading for the exits here, I think that's a bit premature.
Camara, except for missing that layup, has come up big. 6 points, 6 rebounds, but misses the free shot. Yasikevich is double teamed for Profit for 3. And that might do it. And he'll go to the line again, fouled on the play.
Maryland has really come up short, literally and figuratively, with their shooting here in the last minute. They have had opportunities. They've missed their last 5 shots, and for the most part, not bad shots. Shots that you say under these circumstances, I'll take that. Yasikevich's 2 threes. Profit with a 3. They're good 3-point shooters. Camara now has 2 shots, Steve.
Because it's 10 on the team.
And if he makes this one, it's a 3-possession game, and I think that will be all she wrote.
Gary Williams is 4-2 against GW, 2-2 at American, 2-0 at Maryland. But right now, Mike Jarvis is the man who looks like he may be celebrating.
Yeah, and then Mike calling a timeout because he's going to remind his players, hey, we got a 7-point lead. Let Maryland have whatever they want here. Just don't foul them making a 3 and give them a 4-point play.
GW, the only team with a timeout remaining, 1 full. Maryland scoreless in the last 33 minutes and 13 seconds.
Since that Yasikevich's 3, that put him up 62-61. It seemed like such a huge turnaround shot. And since then, GW scored the last 8 points. They've made some good plays defensively. They've played a very smart game. Shante Rogers, you can't say enough about his performance. This is a tremendous win for GW because, let's face it, they had a disappointing year last year going 15-14 when they started the season ranked in the top 25. They've had some bad performances early this year, notably against Texas Tech. And they didn't really play very well last night against Penn. And we said before the game they would have to play a lot better to have a chance to win this game, and they have played superb basketball.
Last year, GW lost in the first round of the NIT to Michigan State 65-50 in East Lansing. Maryland last year went 21-11, 11-3 at home, 4-5 away. They were 9-7 in ACC play, tied for 4th.
Yeah, they started very, very well in the ACC. At one point, they were 17-2 overall and 6-1 in the ACC. They had wins early over at Wake Forest, at North Carolina, beat Duke at home, but really struggled down the stretch. It was a very disappointing finish for Gary Williams. I think this is a better team than that one, though, because of the experience. And obviously, GW more experienced, too. This is a great win for them.
Stokes lost the dribble, now regains it, going against Rogers. Eating up a lot of time, and he's fouled by, I believe, Koul. They call it on Rogers, I think.
And that's not a foul that Mike Jarvis wanted. But Gary Williams wanted to foul much earlier. Watch here as Stokes spins with the ball. Rogers all over him. And Gary Williams was screaming for the foul, but I don't know. I don't think that's a foul. He just kind of lost control of the basketball. Gary's frustrated, and understandably.
Stokes using his arm to push a little bit.
Teams played 3 games in 5 nights. But Mike Jarvis's team was in Texas Wednesday night, so no excuses on either side. And now Gary's really getting into it with Ted Valentine.
4 points for Terrell Stokes. This is his first trip to the line, and he makes both. 5-point lead, and GW will use its final timeout.
And you might as well use it there because you don't want to give up a turnover without the clock moving, because then you do give Maryland a chance to pull off a miracle here, and that's what the Terrapins would need, trailing by 5 with 8 seconds to go. And it's funny, I talked at halftime about GW running out of gas, and they didn't. Actually, it seemed like Maryland ran out of gas a little bit. Maybe all the emotion from yesterday's game and then being involved in another difficult game tonight was just a little too much for them in the end.
And this is the type of game for the GW squad that you really can't measure how much experience it gives them to beat not only a good team, a nationally ranked team, but in the type of game that was played tonight. This is going to come back to help them.
Huge confidence builder. Mike Jarvis can say to his players, see, you know, if we play the way we are capable, we are a very good basketball team. I'm not sure Mike could have said that before this game tonight. This is their best win in a long time, really, since those victories they had over UMass. When UMass was the top-ranked team, when John Calipari was still coaching the Minutemen a couple of years back. But Alexander Koul played very well, dealt with the foul trouble, and the story of the game, besides Shante Rogers, who's the player of the game, was Masharakov coming off the bench with the 4 fouls and coming up with one key bucket after another during that stretch when you kept kind of waiting for Maryland to take over the game, and they never did, in large part because Masharakov and Rogers wouldn't let them take over the game.
From here, George Washington will play at Old Dominion on Saturday. Maryland will host the University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Both games should be wins for those teams. Old Dominion a little bit down this year. They've had a very good program under Jeff Capel. A little bit down, and Maryland-Baltimore County is one of those games. They're not a bad team, but that's an easy win for Maryland.
And a foul is called. Yegor Masharakov came back in the game with 14:07 left, and GW down at the time by 6.
Yeah, he gave them the spark they needed because really Rogers was getting a little bit tired there trying to both deal with the press and score. He gave Rogers a break, and then Rogers seemed to get another burst of energy, seemed to get a second win in the last 5 minutes of the game.
Seiko Camara, junior from Lisbon, Portugal, played high school in South Carolina, has 9 points, his season high 12 against Boston College.
Hit 4 threes in that game for the
12. 6-point lead, Profit around everybody to score with 0.8 seconds left, and that will do it. Ball knocked away, and the clock never moved.
You're going to see quite a celebration here, and they're entitled. And they're titled, too.
And that is it. For the first time since 1977, George Washington has beaten its local arch rival, University of Maryland. The final tonight, 70-66 in favor of the Colonials. And we'll return to the MCI Center as GW captures the championship.
On behalf of the Atlantic Coast